my floss tube. Happy New Year. Hi, my friends. Hope everyone is doing well today. I want to thank you for stopping in and spending some time with me in our very brand new year. I'm Judy, and I'm also known as Stitching Bunny on Facebook and Instagram. And this is my channel that's 99% about cross stitch. Once in a while, quilt or something will sneak in, but that's not the norm. Um, Today is the 1st of January, our New Year 2024, and this is episode number 14 for me. I looked and I hope I remember that was the right number. Episode number 14, I believe. I have lots of stuff to share with you today and talk about, and you'll notice we're in a different spot today because I'm all decorated for Christmas. I think my last video was probably, might have even been before Thanksgiving, or right around Thanksgiving. So it's been a while. We've had a stack of holidays in there between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day. Besides the, standard Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year, it's also our wedding anniversary is sandwiched in there at the end of November, and my husband's birthday is December 5th, and he had a big 70 this year. So we've had a lot going on, which is my normal excuse, but I think everybody kind of loses track of time and loses track of things they should be doing at this time of the year because we focus everything on the holidays, and that's how it should be. To me, Christmas is, in my mind, 365 days a year. I pretty much live for Christmas and will always be that way. I always have been. Some of my fondest memories are Christmas related. My family, my friends, people who are no longer with me. It's a nostalgic time for me because my older sister and I talk about our young days with the whole family. I also have a sister and a younger sister and a younger brother. And how Christmas was when we were kids growing up in Chicago. And it was always magical. My mom was my inspiration for my love of Christmas. She would just go out of her way to make Christmas so, so very special for all of us. And it makes me sad that she's gone and that those days are gone, but also happy that I was fortunate enough to grow up with such a wonderful mom, dad, siblings around me. And so those are some of my fondest memories until getting older and having my two wonderful husbands. Anyway, we're getting off track here. It's time to talk about cross stitch. So there's several things we have to do today and look at. I am pretty much not a New Year's resolution girl. I don't like to put, especially with my stitching, I don't like to put pressure on, I have to do this, I have to do that by such and such a date or on this date every month. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm, loosey-goosey. I do what I want to do at the time, and that's how I like it. So I don't make resolutions, especially for cross-stitch, but I have been thinking about my word of the year because so many of us cross-stitchers have, I think, established that habit. I've never done it before. But I thought this year, with so many changes that affected our lives last year, good and bad, that it was probably something that I should think about, something I want to carry into 2024, that kind of shaped my life this year and would like to carry my thought all through 2024 when maybe things aren't going right or something happens, whatever. If I think of my word, I think all of that will change my attitude very quickly. And so my word for this year is going to be grateful. And I'm grateful for everything that I have, everything that I am, everything that has affected me through my 72, almost 73 years, but especially in the year 2023, because there were just some major changes. And I want to remember this gratefulness all through next year and after that, as long as I'm still this side of the sod, as we say. So that's going to be my New Year's thing. I'll do my word, which is grateful, and I'll plaster it all over everywhere and remind myself, and probably even stitch a grateful word. Um, well, that's going to lead me into some of my plans for next year, but I think we should do our standards first. Let me kind of get through our normal things that we like to talk about first on FlossTube, and then we can expand out. Um, let's see. First of all, let me show you my book of days. I have my new book of days for 2024 all set up to go as of today. Closed out my book for last month. A lot of last month didn't have stitching notations on it, so there's no need to even show you. I'll show you what I stitched, and that will suffice because you're not going to see a lot written in December other than, occasionally, maybe the beginning of the month, I did a few things. This is going to be my sticker start for January. I'm doing a winter thing, obviously. I'm southeast Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. So we're going to have snow eventually. This has been the weirdest winter already. We've had 50-degree days. We've had sprinklings of snow on the ground a couple of times. Not for Christmas. Everything was green for Christmas. But we've had some pretty, dustings of snow. So to remind us that we live in Wisconsin, but by the next day it's usually melted. It's off of the streets and sidewalks because it hasn't been cold enough to freeze the ground. So on the grass, a little bit of snow will stay, but on the walkways and the roads, no problem. But I know we're going to get hit. It is January now, which is considered my really, I hate to use the word ugly, but it is usually an ugly month, January and February, because we get the snow, it gets dirty, we get snow on top of it, that gets dirty, typical Midwest winter. We'll see. Maybe this year not so much. So we'll take it as it comes. But that was my book of days. I'm ready. I'm starting something today as soon as I finish my video. So my notations will be up to date. Okay, why don't we do my whips first? I only have a couple. Last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon, the 12 by 12, the stitching noon to midnight, I knew there was no way in the world I was going to only stitch for an hour on a project and move on. Then I thought, well, maybe 2 hours. Couldn't do that either. I'm really fighting being a monogamous stitcher only because I have so many whips now. And my whole box of ancient whips, that if you've watched me in the past, I've uncovered an entire collection, 30-some whips that are from years ago that I found when we moved. And I've organized those, and I've started finishing those off with ones that were very close to being finished. I finished a Blackbird Halloween one, and last month I finished Ornament Hawk Run Hollow, and that was in the works, I think, since like 2018 or something, but it was almost done. I think I had maybe four blocks maybe to finish on that one. So I really dedicated myself to that in the evenings, and that's done. And I got a beautiful Christmas present from my best buddy, Val, who is my stitching buddy. She gave me a nice gift certificate to my local LNS here, which is Lynn's in Madison. And it's going to go towards framing that piece because she told me she'd never forgive me if I did all that work on that beautiful piece and I rolled it up and I put it in a box. So she contributed to my framing cost, and as soon as things kind of calm down around here, it is going to go over to Lynn's and we're going to get that one framed, I think. So that's what I did out of my ancient whips. But beside those, working on those slowly, I also have current whips that are probably since I'd like to say maybe 2021, 20, in that area. Obviously during COVID, I did so much stitching then that a lot of the things that I had working on at the time, I just kind of monogamously stitched them and finished them. The ones that I didn't, that were either seasonal or I got bored with or something happened where I had to rip out and I just set it, put it in a timeout. Those that are more current but still now whips, I have a number of also. Maybe those not as bad, maybe 20 something, maybe 20, closer to 25 with these few that I have here out of my box today that I have worked on. So I think what we're talking about here is a whip parade. Not today. Today we have New Year's stuff to talk about, and I have other things, but that whip parade is going to be in the works, and I think that will probably be my next floss tube. I'm not going to promise any dates. I'd like to get it out really quickly, actually, rather than waiting a couple of weeks, because it's not involving anything that you're going to want to see progress on. These are just things that I am going to be working on through the year. So just strictly a whip parade. So maybe if I do it up here where I have everything stashed. We're in my stitching room right now, by the way, my stitching studio. Not to be confused with my quilting studio, which is 2 flights down from here. But this is my top of the world stitching studio with my Christmas tree with all of my stitched ornaments on it. So we're going to see if that's going to be in the works. Okay, let's get to whips. I'll be quiet for 2 minutes and I'll show you what I have worked on. Oh, I had started talking about the 12 by 12. It turned out for me to be a 2 by 12 with a nice several hour break in the middle. So, and that's standard for me. I said, I'm in my 70s. I need my nap in the afternoon. We had to have lunch for New Year's Eve. I made a homemade pizza, which I very seldom do, but I made a homemade pizza. And if I could figure out how to get a picture on this video before I send it out to the world, I'm going to insert a picture of this beautiful pizza that I made for Rob and I that we're having leftovers for today. Which is great because, with my video and my stitching, I'm so tired of cooking. It's just Rob and I and the doggy. But, we do the 2 big meals for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And, the pizza was an ordeal yesterday. That takes me a good hour and a half, if not 2 hours to, make the dough, put it together, par bake it, so, and then clean up, which is it. I use every pot and pan and, bowl, mixer, everything in the house to make that. Okay, so my first whip, then this was the one, this is my current favorite, and this is the one I picked up to work on first yesterday, and I worked on it from noon to 4 o'clock, and that's when I start putting dinner together. So this actually got a nice 4 hours yesterday. This is a with a needle and thread Brenda Gervais, Light of Winter. And I think so many ladies, gentlemen, are stitching this right now. So many stitchers have. It is just a beautiful, beautiful piece. Has not been out too long. I think it was probably a class piece or something from last year, and now it's been released. And I think anybody that, had seen that stitched piece by other people last year just couldn't wait to get their hands on it. And that's why so many people are working on it right now. But that's the Light of Winter. And I started this, let's see, I have my other little book here to see if it can help me out. Light of Winter, I started on December 8th. And those, here we go. That was the chart. This is beautiful, just beautiful colors, as, only Brenda can do. On a piece like this. These are gorgeous, and these are a combination of DMC and Weeks, I think. I don't think there's any Gentle Arts in here. No, it looks like it's just Weeks and DMC. So that's the colors for this piece. And I'm in a strange spot, so I'm discombobulated, so bear with me, please, stitching friends. This gets, and I'm also out of practice as usual because there's so much time in between my videos here, I forget easily. Okay, and this is where I've gotten to as of my extra 4 hours yesterday that I worked on her. I pretty much, I think I still had, I had the bricks in on this, but not the mortar. So I got the mortar in, And then I had gotten down to here with the original top border. I had turned the corner. Last week I put this border in because I wanted to make sure, or I'm sorry, yes, I put this border in last week, and now I want to bring this border down and make sure they meet before I continue on. So this is where what I pretty much did yesterday was all the mortar on the house, and then this, and this is actually, this is where I've stitched to. This bottom piece will be down here, so I have to measure that this is all right before I carry on, and before I start filling in flowers over here. So that's her, and she is being done on. This was set up as a kit, and I think this was through. Oh, I'm sorry. I think this one was through Country Sampler. It's 40 count. Oh, see, it doesn't. I don't have. Let me look. Light of Winter. Just 40 count. It doesn't say on here what the linen is. And of course, I don't remember. So, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So that was getting the big part of my attention yesterday. And then we had pizza, and we both, had to rest after that because that was a pretty big meal. And then around 9:30, we decided to put on our movie, what we were going to watch in the evening. And we picked out Die Hard with a Vengeance. I haven't seen those. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Who doesn't love Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis? It was really a fast-moving, entertaining movie. My husband and I both just truly got a kick out of. It took us up to about 11:30, and then we were ready to get our toasting cocktail, which for us is spiked eggnog. I've converted my husband to being an eggnog person. Hard to believe because he, I pour myself a glass in the past, and he would just turn up his nose and, make these stinky signs and stuff that he would never drink it. Well, I found a brand that, has the alcohol in it. And he just wanted to try it one evening. So I gave him a sip of it, and he kind of poo-pooed the first mouthful, and he goes, wait, that's not bad. Yeah. He drank half of my eggnog this entire holiday season. So I think I might want to wean him back off of it because really cut down on my eggnog supply. But yeah, I love them. Okay, my next whip is one that I worked on from 9:30 to actually 12:30. So, this was my 3 hours, my second half of my 2x12. And this is one of the ones from my ancient whip box. And since I was so pleased with the way Autumn at Hawker & Hollow turned out, I thought I would pick this one up, which is kind of in the same spot as Autumn was when I picked it up. I think there's four more blocks for this. This is Christmas at Hawker & Hollow. And I thought, how can I not stitch this when I finish the other one, in the fall? And that's what it's going to look like. Okay, and this is where I've gotten to. This is being done in NPIs. I don't know. See, a lot of these older whips, I have very, limited information on them because I wasn't keeping records back then. These go back to like maybe 2015. I don't know how old the oldest one is that I've kept. I've given a lot of them away that I knew I was never going to finish, but the ones that I am actively wanting to stitch and finish, I think loosely I'm going to say 2015. So we're talking, a number of years. And I wasn't keeping record at that time. I was working at needlework stores. I worked at Country Sampler for a number of years, and you would think that I would have gotten, the idea to, maybe I should keep records of. I had access to anything, so, why keep a record of it? But it's all MPI silks. Usually a small sampling of MPI silks. I think I probably have half of MPIs between this and the silks that were in the autumn because none of them crossed over. I said I worked a country sampler, so I had a nice discount, and I just bought them for myself, and I'm thrilled to death now that I have these. So those are the flossies for them. Set those out of the way here. And let me put this on my board because this is, as a big girl, it is on 40 count, but these are not for the weak at heart, These are big projects, no doubt. A lot of stitching. There's very little space, empty space left on any of these blocks. So this is where I am. And I'll show you what I have so far. So this is the one I've just started stitching since I picked it up. And this one, no. Oh, this is in another book, and I'm not going to bother to get up and get it. But I probably started this, within the last 2 months, because once I finished autumn, I wanted to pick out another ancient to start working on. So it was this one. So it's, it's within the last 2 months. So what I did too, this one was finished, and this is where I had stopped when I put it down. So I did put in the other 4 boxes. I wanted to make sure, that everything was copacetic, that it fit on here before I, ran out of linen. And I like to do that. I'm a girl, likes to do the border first, and that's what I did when I picked this one up for the second time. So I put all those blocks in, and last night, believe it or not, that's all I did in 3 hours. It's this, between watching that silly movie and actually, there's a lot of stitching in this, and that, I don't know if you can see it, it's white. In between the wording and the church steeple that's going in now, there's a white peacock with like 5 or 6 feathers sticking out, and inside each one of those feathers was a couple of stitches of a different color. So I was just changing colors, and that kind of thing. So not a lot of progress was made in the 3 hours, but doesn't matter. It was progress. It was a lot of fun while we were watching our movie, and the time just flew by. So that was my second whip, and that's from the ancient box. That's pretty much, if you don't mind, let me put this back so I don't separate what goes in what bag, and I'll never find my pieces again here. Okay, that was that one. Then I had one more whip. I didn't touch this last night, and this has been kind of put on the side because I started that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, girls, boys, everyone. I moved the camera I have a cord plugged in here so it doesn't die on me in the middle of my video. And my bag hit the cord, so excuse me. I hope that's fixed in the right spot now. Give you a little more room to see my pieces. Okay, so I started working on this, and this is North Pole Needleworks from Stitching with the Housewives. I started this on November 29th. This is a blast. I might have stitched only maybe 1 or 2 others of the Housewives things. Normally, this is a little cutesy for my taste. Their pieces, they're adorable. There's no doubt about it, but I am largely a sampler stitcher. Going to be changing a little bit of that this coming year, but I dearly love samplers, and that is basically my style. I do stitch some cutesy things. I make ornaments, and occasionally something like this, I'll see this, and I have to do it, but normally I haven't stitched an awful lot of theirs. Let me show you the chart first. Out of practice. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Okay. And the reason also that I wanted to stitch this piece is because of what it's mounted on by the Housewives. And it just adorable. Oh, that's what the chart looks like. And it's the North Pole? Yeah, North Pole Needlework Shop. Of course, Mrs. Claus has got to get her, supplies somewhere. She'd have to have something up there. So, here we go. This is where I've gotten to. And as I put this down, maybe, excuse me, probably right, maybe a week or two before Christmas, because then I really started, with excuse me, with the the Brenda Gervais one that I just showed. So I started, I fell in love with that. So I did kind of put this down, and this is stitching with 2 threads, which is kind of unusual for me. So just, getting used to that kind of stitching again. But it is coming along nicely. It's coming along fast, and it will be finished. And I do have the red door. So that was my 3rd work in progress. So that's pretty much it, what I've been working on since I think I talked to you guys last. Which isn't too bad. I got some work done. I also had 2 new starts that were ornaments that I made. One for my sister and one for her daughter, my niece with the three little ones. And the one I made for my sister was the 3-dimensional cherry pie. It's an Etsy shop that sells it, and it's finished in a little pie tin. And I made it into an ornament for her because I always tease my sister that she's Martha Stewart II. She's a tremendous baker. She's a tremendous cook, but she really loves to bake. And she's tremendous at it. So I made that for her Christmas tree. And her daughter, with the 3 kids, Caden, I believe, the oldest is 13. Vivi just turned 10. And little Taryn is maybe 6, going on 7. She homeschools these children and is with them, 24/7. And my niece has always been a wine connoisseur, I like to call her, connoisseur. She loves wine. And so I found it, long story short, I found this chart on Etsy also, I believe it was. That's a wine glass, and it says, Mama needs her jingle juice. And the wine glass is like a Santa suit. So I stitched that up for her, made that into an ornament. And, we can't give them glass ornaments or anything because the kids, play on the tree all the time like we did when I was a kid. So everything has to be non-breakable ornaments. So those were 2 starts and finishes. They got to Florida, at Christmas, and we're okay with that. Okay, so that was my whips and my FFOs that you can't see because I was in such a hurry to get them mailed that week before Christmas that my husband was standing there with, the packing box ready for me to put those in there so he could get it to the post office for me. And and I'm still, like hand finishing, putting the bows on and stuff. And so I got them done, wrapped them, put them in that box, and he was off to get to the post office before it closed that particular day. And I think that was like the Tuesday before Christmas Eve. And I needless to say, I didn't take any pictures of them. So my sister has sent me a picture where she has her pie hanging. And the other one is in Florida with my sister, but not my niece, because they're 4 hours apart in distance. And the kids had to leave before the Christmas box got there to have Christmas at their own place, the other half of Christmas. So Grandma's going to get the box down to them when she visits them on the 11th, I think, of January. She's going down to see them for a few days. So that's when she'll get her ornament. And I already told my sister, make sure you get a picture of that one for me too, because I didn't take one. So maybe in a future video, you'll get to see those. Okay, moving on. This is kind of part of future plans. I think, the majority of you are probably aware of the blessing samplers. Blessing sampler, the idea of a blessing sampler, and it's been around, I believe, for a long time. I could be wrong about that, but I think this is a custom that goes back many years and probably, originated in Europe with the original, little sampler stitchers. But the idea is to start a sampler January 1st and to have it completed by January 31st. And if you do, you'll have blessings the entire year. And it's just such a beautiful idea. And who doesn't want to have a good year when it's January 1st and you're thinking about the year ahead and of course, you want to have a good year. So I had issues. I wanted my my blessing sampler to mean something to me. And being the sampler girl I am, and being, as you will see if you haven't watched my videos before, I'm quite a stash collector. I've been stitching since well, it's over 50 years, and I have been a sampler stitcher from the beginning. So you can imagine, even with many, 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 many stash unloads, things that I have sold just because I couldn't possibly store everything, and your tastes change. Um, so just with so destashing a lot of things, I still have a very large collection of samplers. So I made it my job to first of all, I decided to do the blessing sampler mainly because I wasn't really participating in 12 by 12 and I felt guilty, that just about everybody was doing it and I wasn't. So even though I did my concept of it. But as the blessing sampler sounds to me to be, perfect idea. And I can include it as a sampler. But then again, because I have so many samplers and I did have so many choices, however, I also am very fond of doing the big samplers. I don't have a lot of little ones. Occasionally I'll stitch a small one here and there, something that touches me, something I have to do. But on the whole, the ones that I fall in love with are the big samplers. So to get that done in a month wasn't going to happen. So I had to start looking for something that was a reasonable amount of stitching, something I could, make sure that I got through in January. So I had four. Finally, I had narrowed down to four. And hard as this is to believe, all four of them are with a needle and thread. So I'll show you the ones I did not choose first, and then save the blessing sampler to last. But every one of these always wind up in my, I'm going to have to do these really soon pile. And then they get moved out because I add other ones in there. But then eventually when I go through things again, I move them back in because I love these. The first one is the Red House sampler. And this one, my sentiments, this one says on it, with the needle and thread, I stitch the rest, I stitch the best I can. Sorry, eyesight not good. And it's this one here. Love this. Love this. I was just concerned with this one that it was a lot of stitching. The border is busy. A lot of fill-in stitching. I wanted to make sure I'd be able to get this done in a month. So that kind of what, is what decided me against that one. Then there's this one too, and I've loved this. This is a little older one. This is from 2014. That's how long I've been wanting to stitch this because obviously I bought it in 2014. This is Heap on the Wood, and it's a really gloomy day here, so the light isn't good. But it says, heap on the wood, the wind is chill, but let it whistle, so it will. We'll keep our Christmas merry still. And the lettering is very light. It's got almost like ghosted lettering. But again, this one, the more I thought about it, it was kind of a big promise for only a month. And that's if I didn't pick up anything else, just dedicated my time to this. I just, again, wanted to make sure that with committing to this, that I was going to get it done in the month. This one was a very, very, very close contender. And I really took a lot of time thinking between these two, this one and the one that I did choose. This one is from 2020, so it's a little bit older, a couple of years. And I thought of this one because I want to stitch this one as an anniversary sampler eventually for my husband and I. And which is the reason I purchased it in the first place. I love it. And I thought, the first thing I thought of when I looked at it was my husband and I, and it would be a perfect anniversary present. Next year, 2024, Rob and I just had our 29th wedding anniversary this past November. Next year we're having our 30. And this is going to stay out one way or the other. I do want to try to stitch this for our anniversary. But since our anniversary is the end of November, I have a little more leeway on this. And that's the reason that this one was eliminated finally after a lot of thinking about it, and the one I finally chose. And this one says, your heart and my heart are very old friends. And it's beautiful. The pomegranates and the couple just means so much to me. So this one is going to be stitched in the coming year for our anniversary. I can't think that I would find anything that touches my heart more than that one does that I'd want to stitch for him and I for our 30th. So on my list and in my bucket. Okay, now the one that I finally did choose after all that yakking in your ear is this one. Again, it's with a needle and thread. I'm going to be stitching this on 38 count Himalayan Fog by Excess Commodity. And I've used this linen a couple of times, the Excess Commodity, and I really like it. And this kind of lends itself to me more to a solid linen. I don't know what Brenda calls for here. Barb's blend. And she said 36 count. I usually do everything on 40, unless it has to fit into a frame piece or whatever. But I didn't have 40 Barb's blend. And by the time I decided, I was down to the wire here. I decided a couple of days ago and posted it that this is the one I was going to stitch so that I couldn't change my mind again. So I just chose something from my stash. And I think you might have, been able to figure this out by now. This is the Maker and the Mender. And this says, the needle be it, though so slim and slender, is both maker and mender. And if there's anything that I ever stitch small samplers for, it's normally stitching related sampler. So this was just another one that has been, this is from 2022. So this is a little over a year old, but I love this. And I've seen so many stitchers working on this and have finished it. And it's my colors. When I put this up against the Barb's blend, I had the Barb's blend in another count. I don't know if it wasn't 36, so I think I would have done it on that. It must have been even smaller. It must have maybe been a 32 that I just wanted to get some, and then later on order, the different sizes, and I just never got around to it. But this linen it looks to be lighter to me than Barb's blend. And these are the flosses, and I don't think that this is going to be a bad choice. The Maker and the Mender chart seems to me, and this could be photography, and you're seeing people's work on Facebook and Instagram off of their cameras, so you're not really sure that that's, close to colors either. This is ghosting a little bit to me. So actually, I'm very excited to work on this with these colors. It's got the darker blue, but nothing seems to ghost on here, even this. And I think this is probably the lightest one here. And I mean, it by no means is ghosted on there, even with one strand. So I think I'm going to be really happy with this. I should be after all this contemplation, shouldn't I? So that's going to be started. The only thing I have to do is edge my linen, go down and do that as soon as I'm done with my video, and I'm ready to start. So hopefully you'll see progress on that on my next regular floss tube. See how I'm doing for January with that. See how I'm carrying that along. I need a sip of coffee if you don't mind. I don't normally do this, but excuse me. Okay, thank you. I didn't need to slurp in your ear there. I'm getting a little dry. Very dry in our houses here, this time of year. So, parching is... Okay, I put that away, so I'm fine now. All right. Oh, and this is going to go in my beautiful Teresa Kogan scepter bag. Very appropriate. Very appropriate. Okay. Now, let me see what else I have here. What should we start on next? I think what I'm going to do with you is I have my stash here, and it's a very large pile of stash. It's Christmas. You know, I have a very tiny family, a very small amount of people that I buy gifts for. And so I shop for me. You know, and unfortunately, so many beautiful things. I mean, it's not even the markets anymore. It's like year round, these designers are coming out with these beauties. What am I supposed to do? I have to have them. I have to have them in my stash. If I ever get to the point where my eye problems cause me to stop stitching, or my arthritis in my hands cause me to stop stitching, or I have to limit my stitching, I want to still be able to have my stash, the things that have meant so much to me, that just make my heart happy when I even look at them. I have to have that. That's my joy. Robin, I don't take vacations. We haven't been on vacation in maybe 15 years. And at that point, all we did was drive up to, no, I shouldn't say that. We went up to Green Bay and spent close to a week up there in the middle of the winter, rented a house because we had two doggies at the time, our two labbies, and they were dog friendly. And we had our own home with fireplace in the middle of the woods. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful vacation. But we won't go anywhere and board our dogs, or we won't go anywhere that we can't take our dog. So that's limited us, along with other issues, but is that we don't take big vacations. We don't drive, big expensive cars. And in fact, I paid my car off this month. I was so happy. So it's just a little tiny, puttering around town car, but it made me so happy. So this is how I, spend my retirement income, and is that it makes me happy. It makes my heart happy. Makes my husband happy because I'm always smiling, especially when packages come in the mail. So, a happy wife is a pleasure to live with, kind of thing. So anyway, let me get to my my stash. And this is my no judgment stash now. Move my coffee out of the way, as I don't trust myself, and I'm on my pretty carpet here in my stitching room. It's been so long since I videoed. I have 2 months worth of Bestitch Me, my Fabric Club, and my silks. So I have both of those. This one was, let's see, which month was which month? I think this is the one that I just got. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Hold, please. I don't know if I have this right. This is the Bestitch Me. Well, I guess I didn't put both of the linens in here. Because this, let me start off with this then, because this is my Fabric of the Month Club that I'm, it's a Fox and Rabbit from Gayron. Anyway, 40 count linen. This was for, I think I just recently got this. Elephant Run by Fox and Rabbit. Really pretty color. It's like a blue and tan and gray combo. That's kind of close there. The bag is kind of making it more tan than it is, but it's kind of blue and grayish. Very, very pretty. Very pretty modeling. Just real subtle, very pretty. This one is the Bestitch Me. The hand-dyed silks. This is December. Okay. These were my, I probably did put this linen away. This is the November one. And these were my real pretty fall colors. Those are the silks. Bestitch Me silks. And then these were the December colors. I should have been able to tell that by the reds and greens and golds. And obviously that's fall and Christmas. And then this is the linen. It's called Blue Moon. And this is just lovely. That's a 40 count. Oh, and that is showing like perfect color and modeling on that. Isn't that pretty? And there's a lot of things that have come out lately with calling for the blue linen. So I know there's a lot of turquoise or the aqua charts, but I saw something. Oh, I think it's the Hello by Liz Matthews, the one that the Christmas tree that she had as a class, a finishing class at the Jingle Ball. And I don't know if it was called for on a color like this or if the one that I was looking at that somebody had finished and made into a tree that she chose this color, but that's exactly what I saw. And I wasn't able to get in quick enough to take her class. I would have loved to have done that. But I did get the chart. So I have this fabric and that's what I plan on doing with that. So that's that stash. Then I have a couple of other linens that came in along the way. This is Fiber on a Whim. I think this is probably from Stash Unload. It's called Cream and Sugar, and it's 40 count Newcastle. Just of your, I don't have a lot of lights for some reason. When I've been looking for things for my next basket of projects that you'll see after I do my stash, I was pulling linens for a lot of projects there, and I didn't have a lot of lights. So I kind of have resorted to, when I do buy something, rather than more of the tans and the darkers and nutmegs, gingerbread. I love those colors, but there's some things you just can't stitch on that. So I got myself a lighter one. I really like that color a lot. This one too, this might have been the linen of the month. I'm not sure. This is Macchiato, and it's my 40 count linen Be Stitch Me. This is a little more cinnamon than it shows there. That does kind of wash out to more of a tan. It's more of a cinnamon color. Very, very pretty. Very pretty modeling. And then, as I was saying, there were a lot of charts that came out that were using the blues and the turquoise type colors. These I bought, I think, off of probably Stash Unload too. This is Polar Plunge by Fabrics by Stephanie, 40 count. Look at that. Oh, that's real true to color too. Must just be that tan that gets washed out. That's very, very pretty. And then we have this one, and this is, I have to take this out of here because otherwise you're not going to really get the effect. I hope that this shows. This is 40 count Dirty Water, and it's got a needlework press tag on it, so I think that this is one that is a linen that her son dyes. Now, if you can see this, let's see. I move back. So the light is changing outside because it's gloomy, and then it lightens a tad. But if you can see this, it's a baby blue with a gray modeling through it, and that really is it. The fabric itself is a little deeper blue than what's showing, but that's a pretty good representation. And when you look closer, you see that modeling. Oh my God, this is a beautiful piece. I think this might have been in Teresa's sale section. And I couldn't resist. Very, 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 very pretty. And it's a beautiful linen. So Zygarde. And just, beautiful feel. Okay, that's my linens. Then I know probably the majority of my stitching friends here with me today, or will watch my video, probably did Jingle Ball. If not, don't miss it next year. For $10, you can have a weekend of fun. Obviously, there's things to buy, there's classes to take, but if all you want to do is meet some stitching friends, do a virtual, single day retreat, I'm trying to think, or, meet up with those friends, every one of the 3 days at the stitching rooms and all. The designers, you can talk to the designers. Just, it's so much fun. It is so much fun. So these are the things I got from Jingle Ball this year. Hands-on design. I was saying I don't stitch cutesy things. Well, that goes out the window with hands-on designs because her things are just, I can't resist. And her things that she had at the Jingle Ball this year were just beyond precious. I purchased, what I could online. I at least, got one of the kits. I think this might have been her exclusive, the first one that I'm going to show you. I wanted to get this other one out too to make sure. Oh, this one, okay. This is one I believe and I said, you know, my memory is very bad when it comes to this stuff. But this is Very Merry, and I believe this was her exclusive kit. How precious is that? And it came with the backing fabric and the mounting board from Chantel 141, who I've also started using some of her finishing pieces because I'm not, you know, really a framer. And especially my little things that I've stitched that are for gifts. I want to, you know, you get tired of making pin pillows and, you know, stuffed ornaments. So, you know, these have just been a blessing for somebody like me. And they're quick and they turn out so professional looking. There's even the little Merry Christmas fabric to put, you know, behind, just, you know, top notch. So I did get that. This was a freebie, I think. Oh, for any order, she sent you this. Slay All Day, a little freebie. Then I got this one. Sorry. I got this one that is the 3 Ornaments, Oh Christmas 3. And there's 6 mat boards that came with this one. How cute is that? And I have a charcoal fabric. It's 40 count. Although these I'm going to have to stitch larger because they have to fit on the circles. But I do have some charcoal fabric that is easier for me to stitch on than on black. I have glaucoma, and my main problem with my glaucoma is that anything dark is very, very hard for me to see. If a room is dark, if a fabric is dark, if my husband is showing me something that's on a dark background, can't see it. You know, just totally because of where I guess my eyesight is missing. You know, the areas where my eyesight is lacking. So working on dark fabric, black fabric is almost impossible. But the charcoal, for some reason, you know, along with doing all the tricks, you know, I have a design, you know, screen that's the light that I use, you know, just putting a white pillowcase across or anything white on your lap so that you can see through easier. You know, I do all the tricks too, so that helps. But I said black, I try to stay away from. But then there's some things that are stitched on black that you just have to stitch them that way. So I get as close as I can and as comfortable as I can. This will be on a larger fabric. In fact, I don't know if it says on here. It probably does, but it's a folded direction, so I don't want to take it all apart. But I think I can, you know, find something to stitch it in the right count. And I threw one on the floor, so if you'll just excuse me for 1 minute here. I won't make you look at my butt, I promise. Okay. Everything is slippery. It's in the bags yet, and it's sliding all over. Okay. Oh, you got to see my whole sweatshirt. Okay, we saw these two, this one, this one, this one. And this is the other one. That is just a chart. Just as cute, if not cuter, because this one has Christmas ornaments on it, and that's very me, and it's called Shiny Objects. And I love the subtle colors on here. You know, you kind of get tired of everything being the bright red, the bright green, and the bright golds. Look at how beautiful these are. And so elegant. Just so elegant. And these will look, can you imagine these on my white stitching tree? Oh, this is another one that's got to go in the stay out pile that I can work on in between. So that's that stash from Jingle Ball from Hands On Design. Now, I kind of had these, you know, some kind of an order because as I got them, I usually just stick them in the front. So let's see how much if I come up with other Jingle Ball stuff. These I got from one of my very, very favorite online stores. It's actually a brick and mortar shop, but it's in Colorado and I'm in Wisconsin. So Colorado Cross Stitcher. I love ordering from her. Tremendous service, just, you know, beautifully wrapped. You know, it's girl. It's all girl. I love Sherry, the owner of the shop, from her floss tubes, and watch every one of them. I've watched, you know, a couple of them several times. So I do order a lot from her, and when I saw these, I think there was a couple other things probably in this stash that are from her shop too, but these are the ones I wanted to really talk about because these are designed by Sherry herself. These are the Colorado Cross Stitcher designs. So these are little cute little ornaments. And again, they're beautiful colors. They're subtle. This is Peace and Joy. Look how pretty. The tree with the light color leaves for a change. Oh, so neat. And these are darker, a little bit darker colors too than the bright normal ones. This is Noel. And I love this house and tree. Look at that one. Isn't that pretty? Just so classy. And this is Mary with a beautiful green peacock. Look at the little houses, the berry bowl. Oh, everything I love. So those I know are from Sherry's shop. And I have several other of the ones that she's designed that I've been collecting. So check out her shop online. Or if you're in Colorado, oh, I'm jealous. But stop in and see her in person. That shop looks wonderful. This one might have been, I don't know if this is from Jingle Ball. Anyway, I have this kitted with the Roxy floss, and I don't remember how that happened. But this is Christmas cheer pin pillows. And these, again, are such beautiful designs and muted colors that I just think are elegant. Just elegant. Look at this one with the blue trim, with the ornament. Just lovely. The Canadian, is that, oh, those are birds or are those? I think those are birds because they're singing. I was going to say they're colors of like our Canadian geese that stick it out in Wisconsin during the winter. But isn't that beautiful? That's that one. These, I know I bought these two at Stash Unloading. Ones I didn't have, Blackbirds, Blessings and Kind Wishes. And these were very reasonable. And this one, Rites of Spring. I love this one too. So I had to add those to my Blackbird stash that I don't believe I had. I'm going to set a few of these things down. If you can bear with me a second, take them off of this. I have a hassock sitting here and they're slipping off. So I think that'll be a better hold. Okay, this is a exclusive I got from Hobby House, and it's a Stacy Nash As a Crow Flies pin keep. And this is just, oh, you can see I got this in the autumn. It's an autumn chart, but isn't that love? Look at the colors. And you know, Stacy's borders, you can't beat her board. I mean, they are just gorgeous. They're a little more work probably than some of the basic ones, but oh my God. How much they add to these pieces is just unbelievable. And this is what it's stitched on. You have to see this linen. And this is, let's see, this is probably 35 count Dames of the Needle linen, Cosmic Platinum. Look at this piece of linen. Look, kind of doesn't show the modeling too there, a little bit there, down here a little bit, but it isn't that beautiful. And here's the chart again, so you can see how that's going to just, oh my God. And you see the photography isn't quite up with the linen color. Let's see. And then we got Lady Dot, you know, the finishing ribbon. And here are the colors on this linen. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at those colors. And I usually, you know, I'm pretty much a seasonal stitcher, except for Christmas. And I don't know if I can wait till the fall with this one either. I have a section in my cabinets here, my bookcases, that are things that I've purchased that are like totally kitted already. And I like to keep those out because if it's something I'm looking for, you know, something new to stitch, for whatever reason, or, you know, I just like to go through these kits on occasion too and see what I actually have in there. I come across this, something like this, and man, I'd grab this in a minute if I was like looking to start small for a particular reason. It does not have to be a holiday piece at all with this. I can tell it's going to be worked on before the end, before the fall again. That's so far away. Who wants to wait that long? I'm going to set this here too so that I put all those pieces back together in there. These are just purchases. I don't really remember where I got them. I don't think it matters. I purchased many of these. This one, I think I must have bought this on Stash Unloading because it's a paper copy. I bought probably 12 of these, 13 of these. It's an Etsy shop called Crafty Bluebonnet Designs. And she has quite a few of these and had just come out with some more. But I did not have this one, and as I bought them and I PDF'd them, so I have not printed them out because there were so many of them. And at the time we needed ink for our printer, so I just, I mark things, and I know that they're stitching, projects, but just didn't print them all out. But as it happened to buy this one on Stash Unloading, to give you an idea, this is called, this is Stitching Haven, established 2023. And every one that she designed is on a little spool like this. And I thought, oh my God, I have this huge, the whole front of my house, almost 3/4 of the front of my house, is this, my stitching room with these big windows. I'm up on the second story, and above my windows, I have probably about maybe 10, maybe 12 inches between the top of the windowsill and the ceiling. And it goes all the way across. And I said, there is nothing right now hanging on the walls in here. But I have all of my, the hooks that you can take off that don't mark the walls. I have all of those, and those are very easily removed. They're just little ones, and they'll hold, these little pieces. And I thought, how fun would it be to stitch up a bunch of these and have these little spools all the way across the top of my window. So that was the idea with me ordering all of them. One is cuter than the next. Every time, they're all shown on her Etsy shop. And, you're scrolling through these and you go, wait a minute, I have to have this. So, and they're, just a couple of colors each. So it's not like you're investing in $1 million, dollars worth of silk floss. They're chartered for DMCs. Let's see, this one was stitched on 28 count, and it's 77 by 71. So, it's an evening. It's an evening in front of TV. Very, very doable. Go to her Etsy shop and take a look at these. I think you can just, in Etsy, just search it's crafty. It'll be all together. All run together on Etsy when you're looking for the name. But it's Crafty Bluebonnet Designs. It's a mother and daughter team. And this, it says craftybluebonnetshop.etsy.com. You should be able to pull her shop right up in Etsy. Adorable. Just adorable. Okay, moving on. We're going to be here until next New Year's if I don't move this along. Little pear tree pin keep. Bought that on Stash Unloading from Scattered Seed. She's just posted that her pin keep club for next year is available, and I'm really, really tempted because every one of these I see that were from this year, the last year, they're gorgeous, and I've stitched a number of them, bought them separately, bought them Stash Unload, whatever. But I love every one of them I stitched. Here we have Snow Magical. I think probably a vast majority of you have stitched this, and it was out for Christmas. Not me. And that's actually an extra copy. I also, got the one that was the kit. So I have an extra copy there just in case. I'll see if my friend wants to stitch that. She might have a gift coming. Then we also got Reindeer Games. That is a kit, and I got this one through Farm Girl with kitted so pretty and the little ornament things. I'm going to have to put these on the floor. Bear with me here, guys, with those ornament backings in there. They're slipping around. There. Okay, that wasn't too disturbing. This I have been looking for a while, and it came up on Stash Unload, and I had to have it. A Weary World by Shakespeare's Peddler. And it says, a thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. And I have several charts that are reminiscent or have used Christmas Carol lyrics. I'm love Christmas carols. Spent all of my school years in choirs and choruses, and just, music is dear to my heart. So these are on my to be stitched list for sure. Oh, then we have this. This is from Jingle Ball. I don't know if you have seen this. Some of the people have shown this or not. This was the yearly book, pattern book, put out by Jingle Ball. And every one of the designers involved has an ornament in here. Well worth the investment. I have last year's also. Very cute. Very, very cute. So that was from Jingle Ball. Then I have, this is cute. The rest of these, I think, take it that either they're from Stash Unloading, or if I remember what shop I got them from, I will tell you. This is Snow Angel at Night. It's New York by New York Dreamer. Look at this. Three-dimensional snowman. Oh my God. Quick stitches. And look at how cute those are. Oh, I have so many places I could set those. These next three, I think probably came from Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher. I had to have these the minute I saw Maisie's floss tube, where she showed these for the first time. Quaint Rose Needle Arts. These are just, I had to have every one of them. They're the cutest things. This is Percy Penguin. Look at him. With the beautiful brick house. It's got the ivy growing on it. He's got mistletoe in his mouth. He has snowflakes all over him that are actually quilt blocks. Just beautiful, 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 beautiful. Then there's this one that's done on 2 different pieces of fabric, and then it's also has wool. Stitch and Be Merry. Okay, so those 2 pieces of linen are stitched together. The tree is a piece of wool. Isn't that just lovely? Just lovely. I would make that into a hanging, where you could see it. And then there's this one that's Peppermint Urn, and it just says December on the bottom. Cute, cute. Oh, December. Oh, I just see the 25 is on there. December 25th. And those are all by Maisie. These are some. Oh, I think that these are the new. Yeah, these are the new Plum Streets. Probably have seen these, so we'll go through these a little quickly, because who hasn't seen the new Plum Streets? This is the New World sampler that I believe was a class piece last year and has been released. This is gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. Christmas in the Colonies by Plum Street. Too cute. Winter Blessings. Very cute. Oh, I love these. And this is Autumn Joy. Very cute. Alrighty. Then we have, this was I was talking about my Christmas Carol lyrics. This is another one. Sing We Joyous All Together. And I would definitely make this into a pincushion or pillow. Definitely. And this is another I don't remember, but I think that these were probably out before the Jingle Ball, and I had these on an order, so I finally got them. They came after the Jingle Ball. This is the Tree Lot. Look at those. Look at how cute that's finished. Oh, goodness. And this is Pierre Noel. And he's just the cutest little Santa. And see, that's almost, I don't know if it says on, this is Charcoal Belfast. That's probably what I have. 32 count Charcoal Belfast. How easy would that be to see? Just a solid dye. It's not over dyed. That'd be easy. Great, great, great. And then I got this. um, I didn't leave the box out. I did get the stands for these. This is Teresa Kogut. Santa's Delivery, that are the stand-ups. I have, the Christmas Village, the glitter houses, and all the glitter trees. I have collections of both. And to make these Santas to fly past my houses, this was just a no-brainer. There is no way I was not going to buy this and get these stitched. And then one of the shops, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which one it was, but they had the black perforated paper. So I grabbed, you only need one package. I think you could probably, I don't know if all three of them will fit on one sheet or not. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the chart that well yet. But I thought, if I want to make these as gifts too, I just thought I'm going to get the second package because it's almost impossible to find that black perforated paper. Then I have these, if you watched I believe it was my last video, that had, I had brought out the Carriage House stockings that I had. And this has also been a dream of mine to stitch these. Of course, I haven't stitched one of them yet. And there are, how many? I don't think it says on, I'd have to look at the website, but there are quite a number of them. So I showed you the ones I had last time. And then I went on the Carriage House on her website and purchased the rest that I didn't have that I was interested in. I think one of them, I don't know if it was embroidered or punch needle, but it was something that did not match. It wasn't a cross stitch one. So that one I didn't get. There was something about it. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but I am missing that one, and that on purpose. A Virtuous Woman stocking. That's very cool. Then we have, I'm trying to read this backwards. It's not working. Truth and Virtue stocking. Look at this. With the house and the recipe being the sampler for the alphabet and all. Great. Primitive stocking. That's really different. I'm sliding here again, guys. And then the last one I had in the pile was Noah's stocking. I could read that one backwards. And it's all the animals, and I am a big animal lover. So there's that one. So I did get those. I also, I can probably, just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to take all of those out and put these back so they stop sliding all over. I can put them right back in this basket. Hold, please. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it, guys. This is, sometimes these are a lot of arranging and making sure I don't lose stuff. This is important. Okay. All right, we're ready to carry on. I'll straighten that out later. Okay, at least they're not falling on the floor. Then I got, this is my first, I think, Modern Folk Embroidery chart. And there's just something about this. And the stitching is the white. It's not the, the negatives. The stitching is the white. And I'm thinking of some of those over-dyed, hand-dyed linens that I have there. The unusual color backgrounds that you think, what am I ever going to use this for? I think something like this, if it was something close to being a Christmas color, something you relate to Christmas as a color, it would be beautiful. So there's that one. And I also have a reindeer issue. I love reindeers. My husband and I spent a year in Colorado when I was married to my first husband. And while I was working out there, I worked for AT&T for over 30 years. And while I was working out there, they sent me out there along with a lot of other employees in the Chicago area to help set up a new center there that was going to be for international calls, just, a spectacular center. So I was working out there for a year. And during that year, while my husband was living in Chicago and taking care of my dogs and the house, and he was in graduate school at the time, working a full-time job. I was out there working. He that's when he passed. He had a massive heart attack. I'm sorry, he had a heart attack while he was there. While I was there, I came home. Um, he had open heart surgery. This was all like right before Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, the year that he passed, 1992, and had heart surgery. And right before, um, right around Thanksgiving, um, is when he had the surgery, and he passed January 31st of 92. He had a massive coronary. Um, so a lot of my time in Denver is bittersweet. I loved it out there. They would fly me home every 2 weeks for a weekend, or they would fly him out there. They flew my mom out there to visit me. Every 2 weeks you were allowed, so either to go home or have, a family member fly out there, whatever you wanted. I had my own apartment, my own rental car. I was in downtown Denver, and just it was a fabulous year. Other than the fact that it all ended with losing my husband, but we had so many fond memories of Colorado. And then when Rob and I married 3 years later, we spent our honeymoon in Colorado because Rob had never been out there, and I talked about seeing the Rockies and being at the national park, and he just. Yes, that's where he wanted to go for our honeymoon. So, and then we went several times after that. We've curtailed a lot of our traveling now, but we spent a lot of time in Colorado and love it. Love the state. So, um, these remind me, and that's where the reindeer obsession comes from, because they just walk up to you, especially if you're up near the national park in Estes Park, which is the little town that has the entrance, the one that side of I believe that's the west side of the mountain range. That's where you enter the park, the west side, and it's this beautiful little, looks like a Hallmark Christmas movie town. Absolutely beautiful. But they would walk down the streets, and it was like I couldn't get over it. I just couldn't. Oh, they were like my doggies, It's like I was making friends with all of them and feeding them, and oh God, it was just wonderful. So more Christmas. Get past that story. These are a few things that I had to buy, and these are by Samplers and Primitives. This one's called Peace. Look at those deer. Besides the beautiful colors on that, just beautiful. And it's Christmas time, also by Samplers and Primitives. No reindeers on this one, but look at the Quaker design on this. And the holly. That's holly leaves off on the side. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so that made my long story come to a close. Then I also had to have, who does not want to stitch this? This is our good old Kathy Barrick, North Pole. Look at him. What a great Santa Claus. What a great Santa Claus. Look at my reindeer in there. Christmas trees. They're not evergreens. They're Christmas trees. Isn't that great? Had to have him. And I have the floss for him too. Santa, and this is by Kathy Barrick's daughter, Liz Matthews, and this is Santa and the Woolmakers, sorry. Look at him. And I think that this one was from Jingle Ball. I might be wrong about that, but I think that that's where that one's from. And I also, these are, because now I remember these other, I got hung up on Kathy Barrick, or Liz Matthews, I'm sorry. Humbug. Look at that. Cool. Just be a cool ornament on my tree. This is the one that I was talking about, that they have, the class that they had at Jingle Ball. This was made into a stand-up tree. Like her other ones that she has, the 12 Days of Christmas she's working on, and there's a sampler one that are like the 3-dimensional tree on a stick. That's what she had on that blue fabric background with this. And it's gorgeous. This is the regular chart. To all a good night. And this is the last one I got from her. This is Deck the Halls. Pretty colors on that too. Very subtle. Just beautiful. Then I got this Christmas Magic sampler. Christmas magic is silent. You don't hear it. You don't feel it. You know it. You believe it. Reindeer, Christmas trees. Very pretty color. Okay, got that one. Then I also got, this is just, I fall in love with designers. And when I do, I fall hard. I know on my last video I showed several of the wishing thorn charts that I had gotten. This one just came out. This is Ellis Holiday 1809 sampler. And this has got the flight to Egypt. Isn't that? Oh, had to have it. Angels, love my angels. Just beautiful. And I have so many of hers that are burning a hole in my stitching pocket. This is great too. I have a few of Twin Peak primitives. Usually they're, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not usually drawn that much to these. They're not that they're cutesy. I think maybe is it it's a lot of, normally to me it seems like it's a lot of block fill-in stitching. And even though some of this one now, I'm taking all of that back and saying I'm incorrect, because this just struck me. It has my heart. I have to stitch this. It's called Peace on Earth. And just, take a minute to take in that border. We have Santa and his reindeers flying by. There's a blackbird on a spool of thread with a needle in his mouth. Pair of scissors. Got the little squirrels in there, and then the repeated beautiful border with the reindeers in it. I will never say that I'm not attracted to their pieces again. Oh my God. If I could stitch 24/7, for one thing, I'd lose weight because I wouldn't even take mealtime, but I would love to do that. And so many of these others, I am just, oh. Then we also have this one. It's a Miss Prim, and this is the cutest thing. This is called Flirting with Rudolph sampler. And actually, I have to hope I'm getting close enough here where you can see that Rudolph is flirting with the little girl reindeer, and the angel above Rudolph is holding mistletoe. It does say Rudolph on there, 1840, which I probably would have to say that maybe that might be awfully early for Rudolph. I don't know. I'll have to read this. But isn't that adorable? I have a few other of her pieces too that just tickle my funny bone, just like this guy does. They're in my stash. Just precious. And this is a first for me. My sister's samplers. I know these girls are, I don't think that they've been producing samplers too long. It's just within the last year. However, this one, it's called Isabella Keen, Keen. And it's a Christmas sampler done by this little girl. And it's Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Glory to the Newborn King. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Christ is born in Bethlehem. And then it's her name, aged 9 years, March 12th, 1829. Isn't that pretty? And at first glance, it's not, screaming, this is a Christmas sampler. And I think that's why I like it so much. Just lovely. Beautiful border on this. I love the carol. The flowers, the urns, everything about this. Just gorgeous. So that's that one. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my stash. Now I have another issue that is almost an hour and a half in, and I have so much in this other basket that I want to show you, that I think what I'm going to do for today is end this. And if I can do this, I know I won't be home tomorrow probably with enough time, but this week, I'd like to do another video. I have, along with my word of the year, I also am going to have a dedication year. And this dedication year is going to be for Christmas stitching. Knowing that the crazy Christmas person I am, and crazy meaning so crazy in love with everything Christmas, with the real reason for Christmas, with the silly Christmas decorations that we've adopted here in America, and I love them. With the European Christmas decorations that I use, everything about the Christmas holiday, my memories, the time of year that everybody is kind. That's me. I'm Judy Christmas. I have dedicated an entire basket full of things that I have fully kitted that are all Christmas. And I'm going to do my darndest to at least say that almost every new start I'm going to start this year, I'm hoping will be from this Christmas basket. And because there are just so many things that have come out in the past year, new things that I just have to add to my Christmases. Coming up to being 73 this year, you have to think of how many more Christmases you're going to be able to spend with, either here on earth yourself or with your loved ones that are here. And it's time for me to express my love of Christmas. And there's a lot of Christmas samplers in here, so I'm not poo-pooing samplers by any means. But I think that this is the way I want my year to go. We'll see how it works. I could, decide in February that I can't look at another Christmas chart. I don't know. But believe me, the way it stands right now, I would start every one of these. And the only thing that's bad about that is that I really am at heart a monogamous stitcher. I want to see progress. I want to work on that piece that I love every night and not, set it aside after a day or after a week or after maybe even 2 weeks and, pick up something else. It's very hard for me to do that. And I am training myself that I'm not a monogamous stitcher anymore. I can, bring it down to a couple of pieces, but, to start 50 or 60 pieces is insane. So for me, I'm not saying this about anybody else. You do what works for you, which is what I do. And, I'm going to try this. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But as I said, there's many, many of them. They're all fully kitted. I want to show you what's in them, what I plan on using, why I'm in love with them. So to carry this video on, which would be at least another hour, I don't want to do that to you. I'm going to end this here and say I'm so happy that you have made it into 2024 like everyone else. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your health. Just say I'm thankful regardless. You could be in your 20s and just really be fortunate, be happy, be thankful that you are here this year. You're here to start this year and you will be here to finish it. That's all we can ask is one day at a time. Have a very happy New Year's Day, what's left of it. Have a beautiful New Year. I hope everything that you wish for, that you want to accomplish, you accomplish, that your loved ones are still with you at the end of the year, that they're all healthy. Maybe you have some additions coming into your family this year. Hopefully everything will go well there. You'll have new family members. Just wishing you all the best. You're my family that is from another mother. All of my floss tubey friends, people I've met through floss tubes, other floss tubers that I haven't met but feel like we're family, just cross stitchers in general. You are the greatest people. And I thank every one of you for being here, for supporting my channel. If you like what you saw today, if you've watched my videos in the past, if you're looking forward to my next couple that should be quite entertaining, So please subscribe. I'd love to add to my numbers, and I know I've been gone for a while, so I'm hoping I haven't lost viewers just because I have been quite infrequent with my videos, and I'm hoping to correct that, but can't make any promises. Life is life. But if you would subscribe and mark the little bell, um, that would help, and you'll be notified when I do post a new video so that you will know no matter how much time is in between. When I post a new one, it'll come up and notify you so you know that there's a new one to watch. I think that's pretty much it, other than saying do what you love, make this the best year ever. Um, the old year is gone for, a lot of us. There's some bad memories, and thank goodness we opened the door last night at midnight and let out the old year and let the new one in. Drank our eggnog on the front porch with our doggie out in the moonlight and standing in the little bit of dusting of snow we had, and we're hoping that works. And it brings us nothing but goodness the next year, and I'm wishing the same for you and your families and your loved ones and your friends. So until next time, um, keep stitching, stitch every day, stitch what you love, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.